abuse to children happens more often than probably the average person wants to think.
It is a prevalent issue. A lot of people aren't aware of that.
It is in our community.
They go in waves. It seems like the last 2 years has been just a constant barrage.
1 in 4 girls is what was typically reported, 1 in 6 boys. But I still, even in the 1 in 4, 1 in 6, I feel that that's still underreported.
It's officially called the Advocacy Network for Children. Part of the Advocacy Network for Children is the Child Advocacy Center, which we call the CAC.
We are the second largest CAC in the state of Illinois.
The CAC model is just, it's always the best interest of the child.
The child is the center of what we do.
Our Child Advocacy Center is amazing.
Children begin to heal the moment that they are heard.
When children are able to tell their story, it's kind of that sense of relief.
A weight lift off their shoulders.
The goal of CAC is to believe children, to support them, and to guide them through the process to help them become survivors.
And that whole process starts the minute you walk in that door.
If there was no Child Advocacy Center, the children would have to be interviewed often, at a police station.
When abuse is reported, either somebody calls law enforcement saying something has happened to their child or a child they know, or they'll make a hotline report to DCFS. They will contact us, we'll schedule an interview, the child will come in here to our center.
Our forensic interviewers here, they introduce themselves to the child before the interview.
The child is just playing in their playroom or toy room, especially if it's a younger child.
It's just a child-friendly environment is what a CAC provides.
I mean, the whole thing is by design.
And then our team members, typically law enforcement, DCFS, or state's attorney's office, are in a separate room.
And they know we're there, they know we're viewing it, it's not a surprise.
Called the Multidisciplinary Team, we call it MDT for short, and it's a group of us that are law enforcement, the prosecution, our victim advocate here at the state's attorney's office, as well as the victim advocates at CAC, medical personnel, DCFS, and counselors.
And they can observe that, they can see that and hear that like in real time.
We want to make sure that eliminates the number of times that child has to tell their story.
Our forensic interviewer will then take a break and go check in with the team.
We take a little bit of a pause. The investigator and the CAC staff kind of have a collaborative conversation of, directions we want to try to go with the interview.
Meet with them, and then they go back and ask those questions rather than have to have the child be interviewed multiple times.
After the forensic interview is complete, then I will sit with that child and provide individual advocacy with that child while that caregiver, family member, talks to law enforcement and DCFS to know the next steps in the investigation.
The employees of the CAC go through hours and hours of training. These are all people that have training in children, but then have additional training on working with children of physical or sexual abuse.
We know that trauma impacts our lives every day, and so when a child has experienced trauma like sexual or physical abuse, that doesn't just go away after the interview.
So there's times when the family comes in there and maybe they need some help.
We have advocates that meet with the family while the child's being interviewed.
Without their help, I don't know where we would be as far as some of the cases that we've worked.
Close to 500 children a year throughout our 9-county area.
Especially recently, we've had some real high-end cases in the last couple of years that CAC is right there lockstep with us.
I always feel like I'm saying how blessed I am here of how well our MDT works together.
Child Advocacy Center and the entire MDT team works to make sure all of the services that can be provided to these children can be provided.
Studies show how beneficial that can be to children and their families, can really make positive changes in a child's life and also have a positive outlook on their life.